Hello, good day. This is your teacher in science, Ma'am Priscilla U. Halago. For this day, we are going to orient to you the science quarter 1 module 1. So this video will help you facilitate in answering the modules, the activity from your modules. If you are going to open your science module, the first parts of this module are preliminaries. You will just read the following pages so that you will be acquainted with who are the authors and what are you going to read or see in this module. Parts of the module. The first part is what I need to know. So this is the first part, what I need to know. In this part, you will be given an idea on what are the objectives or the competencies in the module. The second part is the what I need to know. In this part, it will be an activity, just what you are doing in a face-to-face class, and that is the pre-test. In this part, it will not be recorded yet because the teacher will just want to get the result. If you already know or have an advanced knowledge about the topic in the module. So here you can see that if you have correctly answered all the questions, you may decide to skip this module. So you may also decide to answer the module for your other learnings that you can get from the module. The next part is the what's in. So this is a brief or review to help you link the current lesson with the previous one. Then the what's new part. In this portion, you will read the introduction of the lesson. The next part is the what's it. So this is now a brief discussion of the lesson, and you should understand it because the new concepts and skills will be explained in this part. What's more is an activity that you will answer so that you will master your understanding and skills about the topic being described in the previous part of the module. Then you have the what I have learned. So this is a summary of what you have learned from the module or the generalization. In the what can I do part, we have here the verb can. You put the learning into action. Basically, these are more of experimentation and hands-on activity. Then we have the assessment. In your face-to-face class, assessment is the quiz that you will answer, and it will be recorded for the next step that your teacher will do. Okay, whether to repeat the lesson or to continue with the next lesson. Then you have the additional activities. So since you are at home already, teachers will not give you any more homeworks or additional assignment, but additional activities. So this will help you enrich your knowledge or skill of the lesson learned. Then in your module, you have the part answer key, but this is only a guide for you so that you will know what are the answers in every question. Because we know for the fact that this is a self-learning module or the SLM. We are not there to guide you. We are just going to assist you online if you have internet connectivity. Then we have here the references. And in this part, what I need to know. This is now the beginning of the module or the lesson. So here, the first module is divided into 2 lessons. That is why this module should be answered for 2 weeks. So lesson 1 for the first week is about the properties of some materials. The lesson 2 is about useful and harmful properties of some materials. So after going through with this module, you are expected to, number 1, identify properties of some materials at home. Number 2, classify properties of materials as to their use. Number 3, create a product using materials found at home. 4, determine whether the material is useful or harmful. Number 5, group the materials according to their uses. And number 6, practice safety precautions in the use of certain materials. You should now be answering the what I know 10 questions. Okay, you can answer this one. Again, you can answer on your module. Your module this year is consumable, so you can answer here. Just choose the letter of the best answer. You write your answer here. You can write the letters here, or you can encircle the letters of the best answer. And then after answering this part, you will turn your module on the answer key. So the answer key is found in page 24. So after answering your pre-test, you will check your module now. You are going to check your module, and the answer key is found on page 24. Then after answering your module, again, the direction there, if you get 100% or perfect score, you may decide to skip this module. But I suggest that you will continue reading your module because this will enhance your skill on the advanced knowledge that you have about properties of some materials. This part here is the introduction. You just read the introduction and proceed directly to what's in. So you have here another introduction about the part, and you have the direction for the first activity. List down the items from the picture inside the box. So we have pictures inside the box that you are using every day at home. You are just going to list down the things that you can find here inside the box. This is now the answer sheet for the activity. So list of materials that you use every day at home. So for example, what is the first thing that you can see in the box? So we have bleach. So this is the example. So you write the word here or anything that you have seen first inside the box. Then, what phase of matter does this material belong? We will talk about what is inside the bottle of that bleach. Okay, so what is the phase of matter? Okay, so remember the phases of matter. We have solid, liquid, and gas. So these are the 3 phases of matter. Here you are going to choose from the 3 phases of matter, and then you are going to write here. So inside the container of the bleach is what phase of matter. So if you answered liquid, for example, you are just going to write liquid here. And then what is the material made from? So you are going to look at the label. Look at the label of the bleach, and you can see there how the bleach was being made. Then this is now the explanation about the 3 phases or states of matter, the solid, liquid, and gas. Just read the sentences there and remember to read the points here. Please make sure that you are following safety precautions because we know that these are some chemicals found here. And then you are going to do now the what's new. Okay, so there is an activity before the lesson. The activity number 1 is who am I? So in answering the who am I activity, you will need the different material. These are any objects, pencil, ruler, and crayon. So I know you have their materials that you can provide. You are directed to walk around your house to look for different objects with different properties. So be sure you have object like liquid, solid, okay, and then list the objects in the table. write the information needed to complete the table. So we have one example here. For example, you found pan, so you write pan in the object. What is it for? So you are going to write down what is the function of the pan. So the function is to heat food. Then, what is this material made of? So you are going to answer metal. And if you don't know, you can also research. Okay? Then why is this material a good choice to heat the food? Your answer is because it conducts heat. So here you can also write your own idea from your own ideas, or you can research from the net. Now let's move on. You have here the direction a while ago that you are going to study this one, and questions will be followed. Questions are: number 1, do the objects that you enumerated have their own use? Then you answer here on your module. Then why? The second is, do the objects have the same materials? Here, the what's it. So what's it is, again, a discussion of the lesson. So you are going to read this so that you will know things about materials found at home. You have the table that explains the materials and its properties and what material is it made from. Then you have example of objects again here, and where that these materials made from. Another table so that you will understand more about what is transparent, conductor, malleable, insulator, flexible, absorbent, elastic, versatile. Then another part is what's more. So in this part, you will draw inside the box the objects you saw at home in its corresponding given properties. So you will again think of the objects found at your home, and then you will write according to where does this material belongs. Okay, for example, you found as a charger. So where does this charger be drawn? Is it in hard, rough, shiny, soft, smooth, or dull? Okay, so it depends on your example. You have found a pillow. Okay, so where does this pillow be drawn? Is it in this hard, okay, or rough? Okay, so it depends on you. So again, look at the properties of every materials you can find at home. Then you are going to answer the following questions. So we have here 6 questions. Number 1, what can you say about the objects you have drawn? Okay, you just answer here. Sentences. Are they still usable? Okay, so when you are going to answer the are question, you are going to answer only with yes or no. So you are going to choose. Then which of those materials are soft? Which of those materials are hard? Then how did you classify the materials? What did you learn in this activity? So you are going to answer this one in a correct sentence. Then in what I have learned, this is the summary of what is inside the first lesson. So I have learned that material is, so you write what you have learned from our lesson. Then different objects may be made of different materials and properties such as metals. And then you are going to write the characteristic of metal. What are other materials included in the lesson? So you write here 1 up to 6. Then you are going to follow the example listed here. Then in the what can I do part, you are going to make something new about the materials you can find at home. So if you are going to make something out of the materials such as metal, fabric, rubber, plastic, wood, rubber, and ceramic, what output or object can you make that could be used both at school, at home, or at home? So you are going to think of something new something that you can make out of rubber, plastic, or anything that is still usable at home. So you make your own useful product using different materials at home. How are we going to rate? This is how are we going to rate or score your activity. So we have the criteria: craftsmanship, creativity, and originality. These are the criteria. So if you want to have a great score for your activity, you should have an output which is exceptionally attractive in terms of neatness, well constructed, and not messy. So if you get this perfectly, then you have 4 points. And the output should have a lot of thoughts and effort were used to create the piece. So you still have another 4 points. And then if it's exceptional because you use ideas and originality to create the output, then you have 4 points. So this is a 12 points project or activity. So if you miss some of the criteria, then you can only have 3, 2, or 1 point. Again, no 0 point here. You just do your best in making a project or activity about materials found at home that can still be used in making a new product. Next is the assessment part. So here in the assessment part, it is the test of you if you really know or understand the lesson. Just choose the best answer and you are going to encircle or write the letter here before the number. To answer 1 up to 10. After answering the 1 up to 10, you are going to check again. Turn your module on the answer key, and that is on page 24. Or you look, maybe you have different pages there. Look for the answer. Here is the answer key for the assessment. Now let's move on to the additional activity. After the assessment or the quiz, you have there additional activities. You are just going to complete the sentence by filling in the material that makes up each object. So you can research or you can answer through your advanced knowledge. So a coin is made of what material? A cloth is made of, okay, another material. So you just write the material that makes up each object. That is 1 up to 10. Then letter B, that's letter A, completing the sentence. Letter B, identifying the properties of the given material. Metals is just same with the activity above. Metals, what are the properties of metal that you have learned? Then the ceramics and the fabric. So you are just going to write the properties. Okay, then letter C, fill out the chart by listing 10 household products you found at home and write the properties of each material. So you have there the first example. For example is mineral water bottle. So what is the property of a mineral water bottle? Example is transparent. That is an example. So you write 10 household materials. Then identify material that these products are made of. So you have this, the key, what the material is made of, the gloves, the pail, and that is up to 10. So you write the material which is made of by this object. Then you will come now. So for the next week, after answering this one will be answered for the following week. Okay, so this is lesson number 2, and this is useful and harmful products of some materials. So you just read the introduction here. You read what's in. So this is another introduction about the topic. For you, this is the past lesson. Give an object which is made of metal. So that is how are you going to answer. Give an object which is made in fabric, wood, and plastic. So this is just a review. Again, remember, parents and kids, to follow safety precautions in handling material. So parent supervision is needed in every activity. We have the activities here. Activity number 1, classify me. So the objective of this activity is for you to classify materials according to use. So the procedure, number 1, write the name of the materials found in the bags in their proper column. So we have here the columns. The first column is for cooking, second is for cleaning, and third is for repairing. So for example, number 1 is salt. So you write where that the salt written. Is it in cooking, for cooking, cleaning, or repairing? So if you answer cooking, you write the word salt here. And then you answer all the other 9 words or materials here inside the box. Then you have there different questions. We have 5 questions. Number 1, are all materials useful? Number 2, list down the materials that are useful. The second question, list down the materials that are useful. Are all materials harmful? So again, the question are, so is answerable with yes or no. Then list down the materials that are harmful. Number 5, are these materials properly kept in your house? Next part is what's in. So these are the discussion or the lesson regarding the topic. Just read this. Read it carefully so you will understand more about useful and harmful materials. After reading the activity here or the lesson here, you will now answer what's more part. You look carefully the picture and answer the question below. Number 1 question, which of the materials do you usually use at home? So you just choose the materials there and then write it here. And then, why is it important to observe safety precautions in using harmful materials? So the answer is not there. You will just write here your answer. Why is it important? Then number 3, what household materials have been improved by technology? So you look for here the material that have been improved by technology. Then how will you know if household material is harmful? Answer here. Then in what I have learned as a grade 5 pupil, what will you do to control hazardous effects of some household materials at home and in environment? So you have here write your answer on a separate paper. So you can write your answer here, but if your answer is too long, then you can look for another paper for you to write your answer. And in what can I do? You are going to make a slogan. So a slogan is words that can help other people that can read your words, help them be informed regarding certain topic. The topic here is how to handle properly the materials found at home. How will you tell the reader to handle materials properly? Okay, so you will write a slogan. So we have again another criteria here. You have craftsmanship, creativity, and originality. If you have neatly prepared a slogan, then you will get 4 points. If you have great idea about making your slogan, then you have 4 points. And if the idea you have and if the slogan you have made is original, not copied from net, then you have 4 points. You can find different slogan in the internet. Okay, how to handle properly the materials at home. But if it's original, then you get 4 points. Next, in this part is the assessment or your test. So you have here 2 parts of test. So part 1 is multiple choice. You just choose the letter of the best answer. You can encircle or write the answer here on the left side. Then you have number 2 part is the true or false. If the statement is correct, you write true. And if it's incorrect or wrong, you write false. You read first the sentences and you answer it. We have 5 sentences here. And after answering the test here, you can now check your work. Again, go to page 24 and look for the answer key of the assessment. Ito. So this is the assessment. So you can now see the grades for every activity. Then for your additional activity, on the blank beside each material, write useful or harmful and give your reason. So for example, household machine. Are household machines useful or harmful? Okay, so it's up to you on how you understand the function of the machines found at home. Plastics, are they useful or harmful? So if your answer is useful, you write the reason. But if your answer is harmful, you will also write the reason for that answer. So we have 5 materials that you will write reason if it's harmful or why is it harmful or useful. Then letter B, answer the following question. How would you classify the materials you have at home? What have you learned? How are we going to classify? Then what are the certain precautions to follow to keep you safe in using different materials? So you write the sentence here. For the letter C, make a sample inventory of household materials present in your home. Inventory. So you write what are the materials found at home which are poisonous. So you write every poisonous materials you can find at home. Then flammable. What are the flammable materials you found at home? And medicine. Okay. And then here, letter D, identify the properties of the material shown below. Pesticide spray. Okay. How is it useful? You write your answer. And how is it harmful? Okay. Next, soap. This is really useful. How? How is it useful? And this is also harmful in some instances. Then you write, how is it harmful? Okay, so we have another here. So you have 5 objects. And then the last part is the answer key. So you can check whether your answers are correct. Okay, so these are all the lessons found in Module 1. Again, this is good for 2 weeks. Lesson 1 should be answered in week 1. And the lesson 2 should be answered in the second week. Thank you. So you will have another video for the next module.